Hey guys, LQ here with the LQ Review, and I'm back. Took several days off. I had some personal stuff going on in my life that I had kind of had to take care of, but I'm back now and reviewing the most recent episode of Doom Patrol, Hair Patrol. I almost said Beard Patrol, and that's understandable given the kind of the some of the plot of this episode. But the title is Hair Patrol. So there's really two threads there that this episode follows. Number one, it follows... This is a very Niles Caulder centric episode, the Chief. Very much centered around him. As we know, the Doom Patrol have spent this season looking for him. He's been taken by Mr. Nobody, and the Doom Patrol are looking for him. And in this episode, we get a flashback that shows some of Niles' past, a romantic situation that he was involved in, a friendship that he had, and how that friendship kind of went sour, and kind of how that romantic situation kind of didn't end up perfect. So a big flashback for Niles Caulder. And then you've got the exciting part of the episode that I really liked, the involving the Beard Hunter. And the Beard Hunter is a character who I don't know any other way to say it. He's obviously a comedic character, played for laughs, but he's an agent of the government who is activated to find Niles Caulder. And in my promo review, in my promo reaction last week, I said that he reminded me of Deadpool. Yes and no. You know, he's got a lot of comedic moments like Deadpool does, but it's a very different character. And he is able to take somebody's life force through their hair. He's able to take somebody's life force and kind of get into somebody's mind through their hair. And there's a really gross scene where he's looking for Niles, and he actually extracts some of Niles' hair from a kitchen or a bathroom sink, and he eats it. And he's able to then get into Niles' head. So the Beard Hunter stuff, it actually runs kind of concurrent of the last episode, Jane Patrol. It's happening at the same time. So you've got Cyborg and Rita Farr kind of dealing with Beard Hunter, while Negative Man has got Robot Man and Jane in the underground. So we're seeing what's happening with Cyborg and Rita Farr trying to deal with Beard Hunter. And obviously he's looking for Niles, and there's a bit of a conflict there, and there's a really great scene where Cyborg loses control of his functions, and he has to try to dial it down, and he has to try to talk to Grid. And I love the fact that they're calling him Grid. For those who don't know, in the New 52, Cyborg talked to his robotic entity named Grid. And then when Forever Evil happened, Grid actually ripped himself from Cyborg's body and became an evil entity called Grid. So all that was, it's neat little ties into the comics like that. I don't like Cyborg not being able to control himself, though. You know, we saw that in Justice League. I'm not a fan of it. I prefer to see a Cyborg who's experienced in control and is kicking butt. And this Cyborg, just like the Cyborg in Justice League, does not have full control of his cybernetics yet. And in this case, Grid is actually taking control sometimes, which is fascinating in its own right because of how the Grid character ended up in the New 52. But, since I don't think they're going to go that route, it just, it's creating a storyline that, if they're going down this storyline, I hope that it has some payoff. And my guess is not going to have any payoff in Doom Patrol. It's going to have some payoff in the Titans Season 2. Because I think Cyborg has been confirmed to be in Titans Season 2. But the Beard Hunter storyline was definitely the better of the two storylines. The Niles Caulder storyline, to be completely honest, I was a little bored during it. It drug on. The story was a little dry. It did have a great payoff at the end. And the way that his friendship ended, great payoff there. And then we see the best part of this episode. At the end, there's a scene between Mr. Nobody and Niles, and Mr. Nobody is taunting Niles, but he also can't quite get what he needs out of Niles. And it was really great when he said, when he talked about the Niles is, I think he said band of misfits or toy action heroes or something like that. And he said, you and I both know they're not all going to make it to the finish line. So that means that, there is going to be a conflict between the Doom Patrol and Mr. Nobody, and I can't wait for that to come to fruition. And will they all make it to the finish line? Or are some members of the Doom Patrol not going to be around for Season 2? We're going to have to obviously wait and see. But I find it really engaging that Mr. Nobody knows there's a conflict coming with the Doom Patrol. And just the fact that he's taunting Niles about it means that he might be a little afraid. And we know that the Doom Patrol, they're in over their head. We've seen that this whole season. But are they going to be able to bring it all together right at the end to finally take on Mr. Nobody? I hope that this isn't a Titans situation. As much as I love Titans, I did not like the fact that there was no conclusion with the Trigon character. Obviously Trigon, their conflict with him is going to spill over to Season 2. There's no conclusion. And I'm hoping that we at least get a conclusion with the Mr. Nobody storyline. Mr. Nobody can be an antagonist in Season 2, but on this storyline, I feel like there needs to be a conclusion at the end of the season. Fingers crossed. And then we had the tag at the end of the episode where Beard Hunter finds what looks like Niles in a wheelchair, but he honestly reminded me of Jigsaw from the Saw movies. He's got the little red dots on his cheek, and he looked like a puppet or a statue or a mannequin or something of those sorts. So obviously we're going to get more Beard Hunter next episode, and I think that's going to be great because I really like the character. He was a lot of fun. He wasn't in this episode as much as I thought he would be, but I want to see that character play out and find out what happens with him. So this was a mixed episode for me. Beard Hunter was great. The Niles stuff, I was a little bored until the end, and then the end, it really had an excellent payoff. Doom Patrol's a win. Really enjoying it, and I really enjoyed this episode. It wasn't my favorite episode of the season, but again, very, very solid effort. So I definitely recommend checking this episode out, and I recommend you watching Doom Patrol because it's been great. And there's only a few episodes left, and I hope they stick the landing, and that the payoff isn't just in this episode, but we have several more payoffs as we get near the end of the season. So I'm LQ. Subscribe to my channel, and thank you for being here. As always, I appreciate you guys being here, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you later.